It's your room. So who's going to speak up first on this chapter 2, the Matrix, which is really all talking about that RAS, that reticular activating system, what it is, how to use it. Celeste, what do you got?
I just have to have an admission here. The movie came out in 1999. I never saw the movie. I'm just one of those people that didn't see it. So, but I do like the idea of the reticular activator system for how you see your life and how you see your world. I don't think a lot of us realize how others see us and for the potential that they see in us. And I wish we had some of that. I'll just add
Would
that.
you do me a quick favor, Celeste?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is part of training that reticular activating system. Will you change that entire conversation instead of we to I?
Yeah. I don't know where he went.
I want you to say it again. I'm just blacked out. I turned off the backlighting and it didn't change it. Well, it made actually matters worse, but that's okay. So I'm on the West Coast. It's still dark here.
We like you.
I want you to restate those things though, and those findings and what you wished or what you spoke into existence from a position of I. Because again, the reticular activating system has no filter for what you like or don't like, what's right or wrong, good or bad. It takes everything as fact. And so when we use that we language consciously, we're really attempting to avoid speaking to our RAS and owning it. This is your second vulnerability of the day, Celeste. When we change it to I, we're leaning into the RAS and beginning to reprogram that. So one more time, Celeste, and then Dorothy, you're going to be up next while I refix lighting.
I am awesome.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Dorothy, what do you got?
Oh, I didn't mean to be lit up. But since I am, I really like this chapter. I mean, it's so easy to program ourselves so that we can just get rid of all the stuff that's a distraction and focus. That's all I have to say.
Well, I will absolutely take that from you. And that being a part that we are going to eliminate the distractions. And again, though, this RAS is constantly running. As we learn in the material, it's running during the day, giving us our filters of what we see. And it's a choice. This is where we get in the concept that we actually have the power to control everything, including reality. We get to choose our reality by reprogramming this part of our brain, by exercising that muscle of choice of what we're going to pay attention to. You probably know some people that are incredibly intuitive. They just seem to know things. Well, they've worked on that part of their brain of just being more observant. In fact, there's some nuggets. I don't want to talk about all of them because there's so much good stuff in this chapter. So, Mary, I'm going to come to you. It's so great to see you in here, leaning back into what we do. And then, Doug, you're going to be up next.
Do you know who Les Brown is? The great
Absolutely,
motivational
Mary.
speaker.
Though your internet's breaking up.
You know who he is?
Again.
I know. I don't know what to do with this. Les Brown did one of his motivational speeches on The One, where he really wanted to get into radio, and he kept watching the guy at the radio station. And one day, the guy started drinking, couldn't finish his radio station, and Les jumped up and said, I'm the one, and ran in there. And it kind of reminded me of that he wanted it so bad. He kept waiting and patient, kept learning what he needed to learn. And then when the opportunity came, he was the one and he did it.
All through the power of that subconscious tool that he was leaning into, known as the RAS, creating the environment in his mind, visualizing and seeing him in that role, making his brain know that that was important. And the moment an opportunity showed, he jumped in and took it. That's part of doing this. You'll sit here and tell me time and time again, right, Russ, I just don't have the same opportunities. No, you're just not seeing the same opportunities. They're still there. Doug, you were up next.
I like this. Like you said, Russ, there's a lot in here. He starts out talking about the one. And, you know, this fella in the Matrix, Neo, they were thinking that he would be the one that was going to be able to take down this artificial intelligence that was trying to run the world, the evil empire, so to speak. And, you know, it's interesting when you're thinking about that as we are all watching each other develop, that each of us are becoming the one person that's going to change our family tree, that's going to redirect the legacy of our family, and really make a difference, not only in our lives, but in the lives of the people around us that we're most engaged with. So it doesn't just affect our family, it affects all of those relationships that we're engaged with, because we're looking for people that are at a certain place in their life and they're ready to make an amazing decision. These are world-changing decisions that we're involved with every day, and we think it's normal, but it isn't. It really isn't. So this gives us the opportunity to really develop some great relationships over a lifetime. So I think we're in a really unique spot in our industry to be world changers. We really are. So very inspiring book.
Well, this perception piece, you realize how many in the outside world think that you guys are just freaks because you've read 20 books in the last year? Unheard of. Oh my gosh, how do you have that time? I can't read. I don't have the time. You must be doing something radically different. And you and I know you're plugging in for 30 minutes on a accountability mindset call where we're talking and sharing content and helping each other grow. That's all we're doing. It's no big thing. Our RAS says it's no big thing because they're not in here. Their RAS says, holy moly, I could never. And the crazy thing is they're both right. They could never until they change their thinking, change what's going on between the ears, like you guys are already doing, to be able to tie into this. What else, guys? A lot of meat in this chapter.
Sometimes this is the
I
unifying.
got Celeste popped in, and then we're going to pop to you, Dorothy.
Okie doke.
My apologies. Page 31. The text is even highlighted, which I thought was good. It says, when you intentionally activate your matrix to focus on certain things, you'll see one mores everywhere. And his concept was, as you're going through your day, if you just did one more phone call, one more activity towards your goal, you're going to plus yourself, not just by the one more. And so you're intentionally activating where in your life can you be doing one more thing. Excuse me. I'll let someone else talk.
Maybe, just maybe, some of you need to work on having a better attitude. a more optimistic outlook. That's another one thing. I mean, I remember last week I had a call first thing in the morning, and the other end of the line was telling me all the reasons why we couldn't make something happen, all the reasons why it wouldn't work, all the reasons that and all of the things we can't control are going to stop us. And it was so much fun because I kept pattern interrupting Ryan. Yeah, I know you're used to seeing me do that. And the statement was, "You're not listening to me." And my answer was, "You're right, because I'm not going there." My training, my one more, is always looking for the next possibility, the next opportunity, the next plus. And so that's what shows up. And right before that paragraph on page 31, this is what I was leading to. Here's a quick illustration, because some of us need to change our attitudes. And I'm going to change the language or add something. If you're looking for things to be offended by, your RAS will activate, and that's what you're going to find all day, every day. If you're looking for things to get judgy about, looking for things to be wrong, your RAS is going to activate, and you're going to find that all day long. And if you're looking for things to be grateful for, that's what you'll find instead. No matter what, you'll wind up being grateful for everything. You lean into that power, which we've talked about before. Dorothy, you're up, and then Jeanette, you're following.
I keep forgetting I'm plugged in.
Oh, wait a minute. Think about that on a higher level, Dorothy, because you are constantly plugged in and you're just doing it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
You
yeah.
got
But
it.
you just said what I was going to say. I'm saying this RAS thing is it. I have a tendency to call it my guardian angel because it's fun. And my guardian angel is this funny little old Irish guy, and his white robe is a little bit smudged and stuff, but I am not supposed to mention it because he gets offended. And sometimes he's not available because he's sleeping it off, and I'm not supposed to mention that either. But when he is there, he's there like 100%. A neighbor offered me a ride home one time, and we got into her car, and all of a sudden it was an SUV. All the bells and whistles started going off. So she got out to find out what was wrong. It took about 5 minutes, maybe longer. When we got around the building and out to the street, there was a 7-car pileup. That was my guardian angel. I'm sorry, that was. And sometimes when I'm walking down the street, I'll say, the guy in that house wants to sell. And it's always true. So I need to plug in to my guardian angel, which is the RAS. Why those feelings come to me, I don't know.
I just love that you have a drunk Irishman living in your head, Dorothy. That is phenomenal.
I inherited them from my father.
And there is absolutely whatever, again, and it's your story, guys. That's the best part of this section. You get to create the story. You get to see things the way you desire. It's going to take practice, and we'll get into some of the tools in here and add some more of changing that perception, yet perception is reality. There's some really cool stuff on that out there that I'll have to bring in and share with you guys. In fact, we'll talk it through. Jeanette?
Well, Dorothy, you're on my highly admired list. And when we're talking about miracles and people and RASs and things like that, your RAS, your guardian angel, God above, however, would not let you see yourself as the doctor saw you in 2009 when you had your bicycle accident.
That's right.
And people around you who prayed for you, or however that went, that they wouldn't see. And we have, Doug and I know lots of stories like that. I can tell you one that took place 2 months ago. But the point is that I'm personally realizing just how amazing we have been created, because we don't have a RAS by accident. It is a gift that each one of us has, and I get to learn with you all
Yes, get to
more
learn.
ways how to interact with this gift, to let this gift be what it is, and let so that I can be everything that I'm supposed to be in helping everybody else to be who they're supposed to be. And this group of people together, we're just um it's we can't help but change and help change each other's lives, and support each other while we're doing it. There's truly not enough people here to understand um, what things are happening, and how their lives could be different. And you could give every one of these books to everybody, and every one of them would be good for everyone that we've given them to. So some better than others. I just am grateful for this understanding, and Dorothy, again, for your amazing example. And uh, who would ever know? Who would ever know? 2009, they didn't expect you even to live. So
Absolutely. We get to argue if we so choose with everybody else's reality internally. I don't want you doing this constantly externally. Just because someone gives you their perception, even if they are in a high quote level of education. I mean, Dorothy mentally argued with MDs, people who had an entire life of education and experience to say your outcome is going to be this. And she said, no, it isn't. Ryan, what do you got, brother? And then Doug, you're next in.
Page 27 and 28. It says, you must consciously decide which path you want to choose. But also on page 27, it says, when you strategically slow down your physical and mental being, you create a space that allows your senses and brain to reset. So for me, that takes me back to playing. I was a college athlete, and when you played because you knew what you were doing and you chose that activity, things slowed down. Like when I first started playing a sport, it was chaos. When I first got into real estate, it was absolute chaos because I didn't know where I was going and how I was doing it. So it's like finding that little space where you're able to slow down, and it calms the anxiety in your life. Like to me, like just finding that peace in what you're doing is big, because we're dealing with so many people's financial futures in this, that utilizing that to be able to strategically slow down and make the best decisions to help others is huge in my opinion.
Well, this whole slowdown piece, we're going to talk a little bit more about it because I want to give you guys a nugget on this and something that helps tremendously if you'll just do it. That being said, Doug, your mic was hot. Come on back.
On page 32, still jumping off basically what Ryan was saying, slowing down and becoming intentional. On page 32, it says, when you can train your matrix to take your subconscious thoughts and marry them to your consciousness, you become intentional. It requires focus and patience. You start by planting a seed. Then we replay these things over and over with intention. So you use we're going to be using our imagination. We're working to see the best outcomes. We're looking to see what we want in our life and put these thoughts into action. So when we're doing this with intention, we begin to really shape our world, and things we start moving closer to what we really want in life. And the RAS steps in to help us when we focus and we make a decision as to what we want to accomplish. We get focused on that, and life begins to bring us, so to speak, what we're looking for. So it's not magic, it's just intentional.
Yeah, the subconscious and conscious minds are already married to each other. And whatever is showing up in your life that you are consciously experiencing, the subconscious is already creating that for you. And Doug's point and the author's point of now being intentional of rewiring that, of changing it. We had a great conversation in our morning accountability room an hour before this one, where a phone call went awry. And the individual who had that call, I could already tell her energy was down. She was in a pensive state about making calls and having conversations today because of what experience happened there. And by reframing and changing the experience, by looking at it differently, finding what was right, by even making it fun and gamifying it, as long as that continues to be the pattern going forward. And a lot of times, guys, that needs help. You need to call your coach and ask for help on a reframe. And when you fall back off the bike, oh my gosh, he talked to me about that 2 days ago, I can't call him. Yes, you can. And you can call other people and say, hey, you know what? I fell back off. Give me that reframe again. Let's go again. And all of a sudden, it will become a new natural pattern for you that you will be playing at that level consciously where it's just fun. Anything worth doing is worth having a good time doing it. And I know you can all make that happen. Mark, I saw you hot, then Carrie, then Caesar. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
So 20 years ago, I was given a book, and it was by Dr. Shad Helmstetter, and the name of the book is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And that was the first book I read on how to change your conscious by reprogramming your subconscious. And basically, it was setting that for writing affirmations. And just recently, Larry Kendall was suggesting that we write down our affirmations. And I was talking to my coach, and he actually said you need to rewrite them 25 times a day. The thought of that just like blew my mind. I was like, there's no way I could do that. So what I did was I created one affirmation in every area of my life. And I start that in the morning and I rewrite those, but I decided to do it 5 times a day. And they're written as if they're already happened. So they haven't happened yet, but they're written as if they're happened. In the thought process, if you say it over and over and over again, it's going to reprogram your conscious and hopefully your subconscious. So when you head towards that direction, it's automatically going to be programmed in your subconscious, because they said 80% of your actions come out of your subconscious mind. Like when you get in the car and the phone rings and you're starting talking on the phone, and next thing you know, you're at your destination and you don't even know how you got there. That's your subconscious mind. So I think this is really powerful that we tap into that. And it's just going to make me be a little bit more conscious of writing those out on a daily basis. So I think this is really, really powerful stuff.
And Mark, it's key that people pick up. They are written as present tense rather than quote already happened, because that all of a sudden gets into judgy. Well, I'm lying to myself. It's just written as present tense. And whatever you're writing in present tense, I highly suspect that if you go back in your world or you look at it through the lens of others, it really has already happened. Maybe not as big and glorious as you desire, yet the steps of getting there have already occurred. You know, I'm a $100,000 a month producer. You may have already done that once. If you've done it once, you can do it again. I always love, like Kim, who I'm not seeing in the room right now. She is a double-digit listing agent. That's one of her affirmations now. She's got double-digit listings. Is coach ever going to allow her to go back? And we're going to stay on it and keep making it happy. Carrie, you were next up, my dear.
I just wanted to point out on page 38, I have highlighted in bold, it says, few things are more expensive than opportunities you miss. And then it says, you may pay for them with regret, doubt, and a lingering, haunting feeling of what could have been. So I just wanted to tie my own experience to that. So that was, going in for an interview for, a 9 to 5 and all the things, and then deciding that I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take the job. I'm going to go ahead and, take the, do the jump and have real estate as my full career and not regret trying and not regret doing that, blah, blah, blah. So, and then just quickly, it says also underneath there, it says, English philosopher. And then I have, it says, a wise man will make more opportunities than he finds. So there's so many ways to be able to give an example, but like for, like women are always plus wanting things like with children, like we're able to do that, or in our business we're able to be given a lead and then plus it or whatever. In all those different ways we're able to do just one more, the power of one, and always plussing what you have and making a bigger investment.
So I want to tie one more piece into this, Carrie, for you. You went and interviewed for what? Get that mic hot again.
Sorry.
You
Yes,
went and interviewed for what?
I in manufacturing in the office.
No, you said specifically a 9 to 5.
Yes, 9 to 5.
And what would they expect from you in your discipline of when you should be there working? 9 to 5. Right. See, the thing that happens to a lot of people when they get into real estate is they leave the job and they leave the discipline behind.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of that retraining, part of the matrix, part of the choices that you are going to put the time on task over time at this even more so than you would a JOB. And remember the 4 parts of our job description: lead gen, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts. And if we don't have appointments and we don't have contracts and we don't have any negotiation to do, that means lead gen, lead follow-up 100% of the time.
Right.
9 to 5.
I find that I expect more of myself I just expect more of myself. And when I'm in a 9 to 5,
And
I am
8 to 8. I'm cool with that.
Right.
8 to 8 is perfect, Carrie, and I'm on board to support you with that.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for everybody, though. Let's lean into it. Caesar, you are closing us out, brother. What do you got?
Beautiful, because this is going to close us and wrap us up and give you also, Coach, the gift that we deserve, that you deserve for us to give you. I feel this chapter with being the one really resonated with myself, and the part where it says, whenever you see a happy family and a successful family, it didn't start that way. That resonates with myself, with having a young child and the challenging parts of it. And it's not always easy. And then you see us as a family, like, oh, look how happy they are. And it's like, not always that way. The last part I wanted to bring this into, Coach, is I do feel like I'm the one, but I also feel like everyone else here is the one as well, right? And Coach, what you are, you're the one as well, but I feel like you're Morpheus. You're the one that showed us the blue and that red pill whenever we met, and you said, would you want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes with lead gen and showing us the way? So I just wanted to tell that to you, Coach, and express that gratitude that you bring to us every day, and like in the knowledge, because I feel like, again, you're Morpheus, that you really know when you see every one of us, you're like, that's the one. So that's what I want to wrap up.
I now know what I'm going to have to hunt down for my Halloween costume. Thank you, Caesar, for that. And absolutely, I'm a firm believer in the red pill and changing your guys' view of yourselves. As was said earlier today, man, I think it was Celeste who said, I want us to see ourselves like other people see us. And I want all of you to see you like I do. You all have a 10 on the middle of your forehead. You are all $1 million producers masquerading as whatever you're doing right now below that. And so lean in, plug in, and let's make magic happen in your lives together.